Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
Welcome aboard Truly Expat Travel, where we're ditching the guidebooks, fastening our seatbelts, and diving into real stories from travellers who have traded the ordinary for the extraordinary, proving the world really is too big to be left unexplored. Cabin crew, be seated and ready for takeoff. Today's guest is very special. She's a friend of mine who lives in Singapore, but we're going to talk about somewhere special that she knows a lot about, but I'll let her tell you where the destination is and a little bit about herself. So welcome, Stacy.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
So let's find out a little bit about you. Who are you and what is your expat journey and how did you get there?
Well, straight out of university, I went to Japan. I was cast at Disney in Tokyo, and I was the opening cast for Tokyo Disney Sea. It was a great opportunity. And then I just really fell in love with Japan, and I wanted to go back after my contract had ended. I had a degree in teaching English as a second language, so I knew I could do that if I wanted to. So I did. I went back, and then funny enough, I ended up working with Disney again, but not in the park. I ended up doing some tours and things with them, and I ended up doing a lot of voice work and working with the media. And every time I said I was only there for a year, it turned into several other years, and I was there for 10 years. Yeah. And so I was not an expat. I was just there on my own, finding work and freelancing as a voice actress and a singer. But I kept finding new and exciting things and reasons to stay. But then I met my husband, which was also a nice reason to stay. So we met and married in Tokyo. And then probably a year in, he got the offer to go to Vietnam. I was like, yeah, let's do it. We're young. We have no children. Like, no, let's sign up. Let's go explore the unknown, which was 2011. Yeah, 10, 11, was still very much underdeveloped in some areas in Vietnam, which is definitely different from the way it is now. And so I was like, yeah, let's go. And then we're like, yeah, let's go be young and travel. And then I was pregnant. So, yeah, that was a bit of a surprise because I think had we realized that, we probably would have stayed in Japan because where we went in Vietnam was Nha Trang. And Nha Trang was, at that time, pretty underdeveloped. There was like one or two hotels, no like working supermarket. It was all kind of wet markets and no English speakers. There was a lot of Russian expats there and had started businesses, a lot of Russians and some Chinese, and that was it at that time. And so, yeah, having a baby was really, really tricky in that city. At that time, my husband was in Nha Trang. He had moved, and so we kind of back and forth between Nha Trang and Ho Chi Minh for quite a few years. But he was a bit itchy, and then an opportunity came up to go back to Hanoi, to Vietnam. But this time in Hanoi.
Yeah.
And he was going to be like in charge of an area. So we did that.
Yep.
And went to Hanoi with the two children.
And so where are we talking about today in terms of the destination? Because you've lived in a few places in
Yes,
Vietnam.
so I lived in, Ho Chi Minh, Nha Trang, and Hanoi. And definitely traveled a lot within the middle of the country too, in Da Nang. And recently took a group to Quy Nhon.
Okay, let's go with, which city do you know the best?
I know Ho Chi Minh City as far as living and being a resident, but it's not where I would send people.
Okay.
So like, I like living there, but I think as far as, so maybe this is worth noting.
Yeah.
So definitely as a tourist, the North has a lot to offer, a lot more. You get a more authentic Vietnamese feel. The architecture is there, the history. There's the rice fields to different types of weather. There's a lot more, if you're into trekking, as I'm into trekking, there's just a lot more authentic culture. And the food I just love the food in the North. But
is it different? Okay.
It is, it's very different. In the middle, it's sort of more like chill. It's
Yeah.
like really temperate weather. It's pretty much always nice, except for the rainy season, which is kind of November to January, um, rainy
Yeah.
and flooding in the
Yeah.
middle,
Okay.
which just happened really bad this year. But other than that, like super stunning temperatures, but it's beach, like it's more relaxed. It's beach villages, it's fishing villages, it's chill. And then Ho Chi Minh City is basically Bangkok like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It's a bustling city, lots happening. There's like lots of foreigners
Yeah.
there. So you can get any kind of food you want. The convenience of living there as an expat is super amazing because the cost of living is still low, but you still have access to everything. There's like, in comparison to Hanoi, there are like 6, 7 international schools, where in Hanoi you really kind of only have 2. So school,
Yeah.
just convenience as living as an expat. Ho Chi Minh City has like a lot. I mean, it is crowded, but like even just getting around, if you're okay with jumping on the back of a motorbike and
Yeah.
not being in a car, it's a pretty easy city to navigate, and you can just kind of find what you're looking for. If that means like gymnastics classes for your
Yeah.
child, or if
Yeah.
it means like rooftop bars with a view and like a mystery cocktail, like it kind of has everything if
Yeah.
you're going to live there.
So then I guess the next question is, if someone came to you, a friend, and said,
Mhm.
okay, I'm coming to Vietnam. I've only got a short amount of period of time. Where do I
Mhm.
go? Where would you
Well,
recommend?
I always like, I mean, people ask me that like every day. My first question is like, have you been there before? Because
Say I say no. Let's
so
say
if
no.
it's no, I would
Yeah.
say, well, it kind of depends on time of year, but I would
Yeah.
say go to the middle because it's easy. So everything is on. I mean, there are so many blogs and so many listings of like things to do in Da Nang and Hoi An. It's all set up. But the
Yeah.
problem is there are so many tourists,
Yeah.
and you're going to get kind of a package of what people consider their holiday, and not so authentic.
Yeah.
Like you will get authentic food,
Yeah.
but you won't necessarily get like everyday village life or anything.
Okay.
But it's still super nice. It's definitely affordable. You can
Yeah.
stay in some beautiful like luxury hotels for, $100 a
Yeah.
night.
It's quite affordable.
Um, I mean, it's very practical price wise. The ambiance is so nice. You can be on the river, you can be on the ocean, you can see some amazing temples, and you're like right in the middle of like jungles and monkeys and fishing boats. It's all kind of there, and it's not necessary to spend your whole time getting around. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
travel is, but if you're interested in trekking and just seeing something really rural, then I would go north. Like,
Okay.
definitely go towards the Chinese border. The Lao border is super nice. I love this place called Mai Chao. I've only been there, well, maybe I've been there twice.
Yeah.
It's been a little while. I just loved it. It was like all in the middle of the rice fields. You have to, it's a different kind of person that goes on that holiday though,
Yeah.
because if you're not okay getting on the back of a motorbike,
Yeah.
in
Forget it.
a like a road, like a dirt road, like it's not for you.
Yeah.
But if you're cool with that, or if you just get a driver that, and you can just be in the car for a little while to get there, those places are stunning. And you're going to see something that's not just a postcard, it's real. Like you'll see the older ladies going through collecting the rice, harvesting the rice. You'll get that without, I don't know,
Massive tour buses that go
yeah,
past and
without the
stop
tour buses
there.
and out
Yeah.
without like sometimes they just put a little package of this is what Vietnam is, but it's not necessarily
Mm.
everyday Vietnam. It's more like
So would
here's what
you,
we have on showcase.
where
Yeah,
would you
go ahead.
fly into? Do you fly into Hanoi to get
If you
to the north?
Yes, and
Okay.
if you are going to do the north, you kind of need to have a good chunk of time. Like 10 days
Mm.
is pretty perfect
Yeah.
for the north, but if you have less, I would kind of sort of choose
Mhm.
what you're going to do. I wouldn't go to the north if you have less than 5 days,
Okay.
because
Okay.
it's just there's a lot of sitting in the car.
Okay.
It's a lot to get around unless you just go to Hanoi and you just see Hanoi, which has a lot to
Yeah.
do. We're definitely 5 days in Da Nang and Hoi An is plenty.
Okay.
So
So that's what you would recommend. If you've only got 5 days or just a week, then we stick with the middle And then
Mhm.
if you've got extra time, then you go up north.
Yeah, it
Is that what
definitely
you're saying?
is what you're after. I mean, if you
Yeah.
just have like a short trip and you just want to go someplace affordable and have like 5-star uh, food experiences,
Yeah.
you could do that. But if you want to go and see countryside, if you really want like a good taste of what the country's about,
Yeah.
then yeah, having a little bit longer time and seeing something outside the cities is nice.
And so, okay, so I always go back to food, right? Because
Yep.
I love food. So, for those who are their first time in the middle of Vietnam, what
Mhm.
do I have to try?
Bun Bo Hue.
Okay.
Bun Bo Hue is Hue is the city, the citadel, the capital, the old capital, and this is so it's named after that. But Bun Bo Hue is the type of noodle. So
Okay.
bun is noodle, and Bun Bo Hue is like a noodle that kind of has a hole through the middle,
Oh,
like
okay.
a kind of a long macaroni, but thinner and made from rice. And it's just the type of noodle. But the Bun Bo Hue is it's a style of making soup.
Okay.
It's thicker than like a pho,
Yeah.
and it has lots more herbs. And I think the herbs and it's just like it's a hearty soup, where
Okay.
pho can be light and uh, pho is more like for breakfast anyway. It's
Is
meant to be
it?
lighter. It's not
Okay.
heavy. Yeah,
Yeah.
pho's what you have for breakfast if you're Vietnamese.
Okay.
Pretty much like a pho and like a baguette. Like that's
Yeah.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Um, and lots of fruit, which I
Okay.
miss living in
Yeah.
Singapore
Yeah.
because
Yes. And the cost of the fruit because you can
yes,
eat.
because we
Yeah.
have access to it
Mhm.
here. It's not as fresh, but it's definitely more expensive. We're there, it's growing on all the trees around you as well. And no, I the fruit and the herbs, these are the things I miss about Vietnam.
Yeah. Is there a
Um,
drink as well that you should try?
yes. And well, my favorite so Vietnam is coffee. I mean, they are
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like it's all coffee. There's super special types of coffee, but I mean, the mostly what people know is that it's strong.
Yes.
And that everyone's like, "Oh, it's strong coffee." And it is, but it's
Yeah.
like concentrated because they brew like real strong, like kind of intense espresso, and then it's condensed milk and ice, and it's sweet, and or if it's hot, it's kind of the same way without the ice, but it's strong.
Yeah.
But it's also the way they make the coffee, and there's like lots of different types and grades of coffee, but that's sort of like what they celebrate. So my favorite though, because coffee is like they are very proud of coffee. They will like
Mm.
showcase it to you. They have like all their different favorites. But my favorite is actually from Gong Cafe, and Gong
Yeah.
Cafe is a chain.
Okay.
It's spelled like Cong, but
Okay.
pronounced Gong, and they're especially in Ho Chi Minh City. They're like kind of everywhere. But they have my favorite one, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
basically like so they have the coffee, and then they in a it's like condensed milk and coconut blended, like kind
Wow.
of like a smooth, like a frothy, like icy of coconut sweetness.
Yeah.
And then they pour the coffee over that. So it's like
Wow.
this iced, like sweet cafe without having ever added any sugar to it other than what's in.
Yeah. What's in the
Like,
condensed milk?
yeah, exactly. So that's definitely a favorite. I would say if you get offered the local alcohol, be very careful because it is
That's
I mean,
full on.
yeah, it's like turpentine, like the
Yeah.
rice. I mean, it's made in these big jugs. I mean, it's similar to China and
And
like
Indonesia, like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's I mean, I can't say as if I have any taste buds after tasting it, so I can't like differentiate like between them, but yeah, like for me like Vietnam is like don't have they do make in Dalat they do make wine in Dalat, which
Oh,
Dalat is like
okay.
where all the vegetables grow and it's all fresh. Don't drink the wine. Definitely drink the smoothies. But don't the wine is horrible, but the vegetables are great. Yeah, so for me it's all like fresh produce. If it comes off of a tree, eat it. If it doesn't, be careful in Vietnam.
Okay, okay. And if it's cooked, right? If it's cooked, it should be okay, especially if it's vegetarian.
Like, well, no. Oh,
No?
yeah, if it's cooked, yeah, for sure. Sorry. People get sick two ways in
Yeah.
Vietnam. pate in the banh mi's because it's been sitting out, and because banh mi's are
Oh,
usually in those little like street,
yeah,
the wheelie carts, and it just sits, and so bacteria gets in there. So if you get a banh mi, you're pretty safe. Just don't get the pate.
that's
My
interesting.
husband was definitely sick a few times from banh mi.
Do you know what?
um,
It's just not in Vietnam. I got very sick in Australia for the same reason,
mm.
like food poisoning sick, like, yeah, anyway.
Pate is tricky,
Yeah,
Pate it's just like a temperature thing. You have to like anyway, so pate, and then the other thing is actually herbs and vegetables that have been
really?
washed in dirty
Okay,
water.
yeah,
And they've actually like best intention trying to keep it clean, but the water sometimes is the problem. So yeah, if it's cooked, you're great. But
yeah,
like to be honest, that's not the case in Vietnam. Like herbs and vegetables are almost always not cooked.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
like one of the reasons I love the food so much is just like there's just this
an
toss of like
abundance of it.
amazing herbs on everything. And then the veg. So sometimes like carrot and like shredded carrot and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Like it's not cooked, but it's great. So you just have to be careful. Like if you have little tablets or anything, you can do that. And it is not even like if you eat on the street, you're in trouble, and if you eat at a restaurant, you're not. Like it happens at restaurants too.
yeah.
It
What
just
about
kind of happens.
what about ice? Is ice okay?
It used to be a problem. I don't think it's much of a problem anymore. I think the rule was something like if it has a hole in it, it's okay, and if it doesn't, don't have it. Or maybe I've got that backwards. So they have these ice machines, and they make ice, and it has like this hole through the middle.
Yes, yeah,
And I think that one was the safe one, but it's just less an issue now. I mean, it's not eco nice at all, but like every place has these big blue jugs of water, like
yeah,
huge. So, I mean, you're going to get like whatever plastic
yeah,
contamination because this is like how everybody has their water but
yeah,
you're not
yeah,
going to get sick from the water. And the ice machines, it's mostly a matter of maintenance because it is hot. It's tropics. Like they just have to clean them often because
mm,
it's not the water itself. It's the machine. It's like
okay,
it
that
hasn't
makes sense.
been cleaned. So I
Mm,
try to avoid ice,
yeah,
but I don't know anybody who's been sick from ice. It's pretty much just veg and pate that makes people sick and
sick.
mosquitoes. But
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's
Coke is
enough.
good. If you don't drink Coke at all, I'm
Okay.
always like, people this, like, if you don't drink Coke at all, and then you have like a questionable street food or whatever, if you have a Coke afterwards, it kind of like kills whatever it is. And I'm not kidding. Like, it has saved a few people, and they start to feel like, "Ooh." But I think if you drink it all the time, maybe it doesn't work. But yeah, something in that. And maybe there's like that great strong coffee will also like kill some of the
Kill some,
bacteria.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if I was to say what is the region famous for, what would you say?
The north, I'll work down. So the north is definitely the beauty of the land. So you've got like your rice terraces in the north, and I don't want to just say Sapa because Sapa is definitely like
Mm.
over touristy now. There's just a
Ah,
lot of
okay.
hotels and everything going in. If you go to the north and you want to see Sapa, like because
Yeah,
that they're Phung Nga, like there's a lot of places around that area
yeah,
that haven't been as overdeveloped, and they're a lot less money to stay at. Like kind of you can sort of branch out, but like doing ecotourism is great. If you look up ecotourism in that area, it's sort of
mhm.
more authentic. But Sapa is beautiful, and Fansipan, which I think you've been to, Paula. Haven't you done to
No, I
Fansipan?
haven't. No.
It's just like it's just cool because you start out in maybe like 28 degrees, and then you get to the top, and it's like 6.
Wow.
So you're in like Sapa village. They've put in all these gondola like cable cars
Oh, okay.
now, which take you up to the top of the mountains, and there's just stunning pagodas and everything to see up at the top.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can start at the bottom and then cable car up. You can also hike up. It's just such a like an accomplishment to get to the top. The weather will definitely impact it, like how much you can see, because it's just so foggy up there.
Mm,
How much you can actually see the pagodas. So if you Google it, they pretty much always put on videos with no
no
clouds or
f
no fog,
Oh, okay,
which
yeah,
is not very realistic.
yeah.
But I like being there in the fog, and like it's like spiritual, like being
Yeah,
up
yeah,
that high
yeah.
and looking out on the rice fields and everything. So that is very
Yep.
cool. And then water buffalo are everywhere throughout the country, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
just always so nice to see them. And they're sort of the country's lawnmowers. They just like bring them through. So kind of working down. So you've got Halong Bay, which is also very developed. I like Halong Bay, but please don't spend more than a day there. Like it's just like, or 2 days. There's just like once you go out on the water, it's sort of like it's just so many people. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful, but there are
Yeah.
other places like I think you would enjoy more.
Yeah.
And then like Hanoi itself is amazing, fun city. They close off the streets on the weekends along the lake. It's just a good place to hang out,
Yeah.
just walk and be very chilled and relaxed. You can have an egg coffee, which is when they froth up the coffee with egg instead of milk.
Yeah.
Bun cha is like super famous there. So you can go on. I really like food tours in the north because you go
So do
down
I.
these. I like them because it's not just about the food, it's about the
Yeah.
alleys. So
Yeah.
you go into like, you can see how people live. You can go and you can see like how the streets, how the neighborhoods kind of work. You're going where cars cannot go. Yeah,
Mm.
you just kind of go down these little alleys and see the food. So buncha is like a barbecued pork. I don't actually eat pork myself, but I have had that, and it's like it's just famous, and the
Yeah.
smell is everywhere. Like this barbecue happiness that they put on noodles and
Yeah.
lots of herbs, and then you have your coffee off or your beer. Beer's big there. Like
Yeah.
beer is good there as well. There's
Yeah.
like every region has their own beer. I don't really have a favorite, but yeah, beer is actually great. And let's just pretend it kills bacteria if you have the wrong street food. I don't know if that works, but we'll pretend. The museums in Hanoi are great. Like if you want like a historical walk, and in Hanoi, it's not just about the American Vietnam War. It's like all the
Mm.
French
Yeah, it's got a big
historical.
French influence there too, right?
Well, they were French colonized first for a long time, and that for like the Vietnamese people, that kind of is sort of what they focus on. A lot of people do still speak French in the North.
Oh, do they?
And it was just like, this fight for independence. But you can see a lot of the old buildings in the French
Mm.
footprint is still really prevalent there. It's just like some really cool architecture. But you can go into like the old war, like prisons and things, but there's a lot of war monuments. What is my husband calls it canoodling, which is just like lots of people hanging out having drinks and food on the
Yeah.
grass. There's a lot of multi-generational living.
Yeah.
And so, I suppose that's the case everywhere in Vietnam, but in Hanoi, there's a lot of parks and hanging out spots where people just get together outside. That part's pretty cool. There's a women's museum there, which is one of my very favorites. It's like the generations of women and how they kind of work together. Uh, Vietnam's a matriarchal society, which is very different to much of Asia. I think that's worth paying attention to when you're in Vietnam. Most of the CEOs in the country are women. Um,
That's cool.
so that's definitely like noticeable if you live there.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of like I don't know, chauvinistic like
Yeah.
it's just a different way that the society runs, which is kind of interesting. And the Women's Museum sort of shows how that has come together. But what they really do very well is there's show all the tribes. So there's like 36
Oh, okay.
tribes in Vietnam and all these different dialects. And so when you go to the museum, you can see the different indigenous dress, like the wedding ceremonies, like all how it's different throughout like the whole country. So
Yeah.
I love that museum. I think it's very well done. And in Hoi An,
Yeah.
they have something similar recently. So there's this artist called Rayhan, who's actually a friend of mine, and he has galleries there. He's a photographer, and he goes out into the rural areas and photographs and has some pretty cool techniques. But anyway, he has a museum in Hoi An
Yeah.
that does similar to the Women's Museum, where it just showcases all the different tribes, and he's gone out and photographed them, and then he has like the traditional dresses and everything from all the villages. And so that part's kind of cool if you like a history part.
Yeah.
Um,
If you
Go
if you
ahead.
had if you had 3 days, if a friend was coming to visit and you had 3
Mhm.
days, where would you take them? What would an itinerary look like?
Well, okay, if it's only 3 days, I would want to go to Ho Chi Minh City.
Okay.
because, I mean, especially if I'm along for the trip, there's just amazing dining. There's so much food, F&B, like in Ho Chi Minh. It's not necessarily Vietnamese food. Like one of my favorite places is called Quince, and they're foreign chefs, but I mean, it's just amazing. And you get this full like five-star dining experience. There's a
Yeah.
jazz bar up the top. I mean, there's some amazing Japanese food in Ho Chi Minh City. There's a like a little Tokyo kind of
Oh,
area. It's a Lei Tonton Street,
yeah.
and that has everything that I loved from being in Japan, like access to if I wanted to get some tonkatsu ramen or whatever like it was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that area, and it's just like the affordability, and then just getting errands done. So for me, like I often go to Ho Chi Minh just to get stuff done. So
Okay.
my tailors are there, like I get my
Oh,
jewelry fixed.
yeah.
I get my framing done, like getting
Okay.
frames made in Singapore. Whoo.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I just go and get all my stuff done. So
Yeah.
anytime like the hems on the husband's slacks or
Yeah.
anything, it's
Yeah.
just so when I have a friend, like I just will take them and get them clothes made and take them to like some amazing dining, take a riverboat cruise.
Okay, yeah.
Um, the for 3 days going out on the river is definitely great. There's this yacht club called Ross, which is in District 1, and you can just get on the boat there. And they have lots of dinner cruise things, but I wouldn't do the dinner ones. I would just
Okay.
do the boat cruise. Just like you can be more intimate with your group.
Yeah.
The food's never good on those cruises at all, but the views are stunning. So going out on the river at night, it's hard if you're there for a weekend because
Yeah.
a lot of the traffic.
Yeah.
So I would pick
A weekday.
um no, yeah, if you can, but no, I mean, if you have to go on the weekend, as you're
Mm.
just 3 days, probably would be a weekend. I would not try to see all the districts. I would kind
Yeah.
of just hang out in like 1 and 3. 2 is where all the expats live in Ho Chi Minh City. So there is some pretty amazing dining
Yeah.
there. But I would just kind of try and stay in one area so you don't spend time like getting stuck in traffic, which is a reality. It's
Yeah.
not as bad as like Jakarta or
Yeah.
even as KL. I think Ho Chi Minh's
Chaos
easier.
crazy.
I would just eat myself silly with some amazing food. And I mean, there's a couple of fun places. They make chocolate. Oh, I have one in my freezer. Should grab it. A Maru chocolate. Maru chocolate has a couple of like their factories.
Okay.
So you can go and see how they make chocolate because the chocolate's like the coffee. It's like the real deal without all the and it expires,
Okay.
soon
It's
because
got
it's
real
all like
stuff.
fresh.
Yeah.
So that's nice. I would go to Marie Chocolate. I love that they have amazing vegetarian food. Like
Okay.
it's so good. And there's a chain. I don't know if it's a chain, but they have multiple locations and it's called Humm.
Okay.
And for like really good, authentic Vietnamese food, that's a good one. Even
Okay.
though it's vegetarian, it's just really good. Like
Yeah.
they've done such a good job with their menu, and they have super fun cocktails, which
Okay.
are like all the authentic ingredients. You can get anything from lemongrass martinis to like pandan
Yeah.
hibiscus. Like it's like their cocktails are really beautiful and fun, and you can go out for a night of cocktails and fun for like $20.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that part's pretty fun
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Compared to here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that part's good. There's a lot of really good rooftop bars. There's a lot of these like speakeasy kind of places where you don't know where they are because they're on top of somebody's apartment block
Okay.
or like, so you go up like some windy staircase that
Yeah.
looks like you're going up to check the water heater, but you get up there and it's like this decadent, beautiful bar and you're overlooking the city. Ho Chi Minh's pretty temperate as well, so you kind of don't need to watch the time of year for the weather. They do have the rainy season, but it's kind of like Singapore in that it just kind of happens sometimes sporadically through. It doesn't rain all day. It just rains usually around 3 to 5 o'clock. You can
Okay.
still get a lot done.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't like the Mekong tours on the boats. Those are cool, but it's hot.
Mm.
it's hot on the Mekong. Like, so I would do a shorter one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do anything too long. If you can try and do it just early morning, see like the floating markets. And then I don't know, people do like the war stuff, like the tunnels.
Yeah, I've done it.
Um,
Just I think
Take a
people find it.
box.
Yeah, it's for me. I was talking to someone about this yesterday. Actually, I'm not really a war history type of person.
Mm,
However, when I'm in a city or a country that has history, I like to find out more about that and what's
mhm,
going on, just to not to tick a box, but just to kind of understand it a little bit. But it's not my
mhm.
focus, if that makes sense.
Well, one thing, if people do go to the Chi Chi tunnels, there's an amazing gin distillery there.
Oh,
Uh, Madame Leo. Yeah, so the gin distillery is great.
hmm,
Um, and you can tour that, so it's out by the tunnels.
okay,
So if you want to kind of like add something on, because it is a bit like out of town, it's
yeah,
like it takes a little time to get there. So I would add on the distillery, and so you don't lose your whole day just because you want to go and see what the
yeah,
tunnels, for example. But yeah, I for me, like, Ho Chi Minh is a perfect weekend place
yeah, okay,
because it's just get away. Like, and I laugh with my friends here in Singapore because I'm like, for what we would spend on just going to dinner, like in Singapore, you can buy a flight,
mm,
buy dinner,
mm,
and like a well, I mean, I don't know, it might be stretching it to say you can stay in a hotel, but
yeah, but still,
for pretty much like going out, if you go out like Saturday and Sunday in Singapore, you've pretty much covered your weekend in Ho Chi Minh, like
yeah, I
easily.
know.
So it's just kind of an easy, it's like an hour and 20 minutes flight. Scoot flights are usually about $120.
Wow, it's cheap.
The Singapore Air ones are 300.
Mm,
Um, So I've gone over for the weekend. I still do some events there. So sometimes I just do that and like
yeah,
spend the weekend, and it's not going to break the bank, and it is a little bit of a respite.
yeah. What would you suggest someone bring back as a souvenir? I'm not talking magnets. I'm
Mm,
talking, where would
yeah.
you suggest, or what would you suggest someone bring back?
Coffee and chocolate.
And you've given us some good
Yeah,
ideas.
that Maria chocolate.
Yeah.
Hold on, I've got two things to show you.
Okay.
Now. Having said this, Singapore is insanely uh advantageous because they sell these things that I'm about to show you in
Yeah.
Singapore.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. But okay, so here's the chocolate. Um,
Ah, okay. Yep.
so they do sell. So this one's coconut milk, milk. So back to my coconut coffees. I love them. So
Yeah.
that's that one. But I mean, they have everything, and
Yeah.
they always have like the percentage. So I think they go up to like 98% cocoa. But
Yeah.
it's strong chocolate.
Yeah.
It's usually dark. Yeah, it's mostly like dark,
Yeah.
strong chocolate. This one is just an interesting one. I
Yeah.
haven't tried it yet.
Buckwheat. I saw
Buckwheat.
that. It's a roasted
Haven't tried
buckwheat.
it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, they sponsored my last. I was there for like a gala ball. They
Ah, okay.
sponsored it, so I
Okay.
got that. Were like everybody was giving that. So this is Trung Nguyen, and this is like the gold star of Vietnamese coffee.
Okay.
They
How
This
do you
is the
spell it?
most expensive one. If you get this
Okay.
at the airport, and like it'll be in like a gold box,
Ah,
and it is like it's
yeah.
so super overpriced for Vietnam, but it is really good.
And it's coffee
Uh,
beans, right? For those who just
this is
listening.
no, this has
No?
been
Oh, okay. So it's
no,
been
this has been ground. You
okay.
can buy it either way.
Yep.
They have a Trung Nguyen coffee shop. Actually, our friend Jane lives right above one of them.
Ah,
I think
okay.
there's only one in Singapore, but they have like a full coffee shop, and like you can get sandwiches and everything there.
And that's
I
in
wrote it.
where? Where was that?
I've just forgotten the station name. Our friend Jane lives like right in that
Okay.
station.
Is it Ho Chi Minh City, or we're talking further up
Oh
north?
no,
Oh.
Singapore.
Oh,
In
in
Singapore.
Singapore. Oh, in Singapore.
No,
Okay. Okay. Our
no, that's
friend
what I
Jane.
mean. Like
Ah, okay.
our friend Jane,
Sorry.
who we
Yeah.
are probably going to see later,
Yeah.
is living above this one in Singapore. However,
Ah,
this is everywhere in Vietnam. It's
okay.
like their fancy version, but they're
Okay.
all good. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to like to spend a lot on their really good coffee. I have this one because when my husband goes back, because my husband opens hotels there, there's
Yeah.
one like very nice owner who always gifts us a bag.
That's nice.
Uh, but they do have it here in Singapore, but like the coffee is something that's easy to bring back, and because it's such their pride, they package it in like really nice little if you're a souvenir type
Okay.
samples. Also, pepper.
Pepper.
So the island of Phuket, which is also super easy to
Okay,
access
yeah.
from Singapore, because
Yeah.
they actually have direct flights there now, and you
Do
don't have
they?
to have a visa.
Oh,
Since you have to have a visa when you go into Vietnam, the country, but because
yeah.
it's an island and you're not like, I guess you're like, you don't have to have a visa. So
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
and you can fly direct.
Okay.
I think it's only Scoot that does it,
Mhm.
but yeah. So you can go into Phuket, but Phuket, like 10 years ago, is all pepper. That's all it was, pepper trees.
Wow.
And they've developed it so much now. They have like 4 different types of pepper. I don't really understand it all. It's like, but green pepper, white pepper, black pepper.
Yeah.
But they sell it like souvenirs as well because
Okay.
and that's really special because they've got these varieties that don't grow everywhere.
Okay.
Salt, I think
Yeah.
is the same. I see salt being sold, but I think the pepper is actually like unique
Yeah.
in like the variety. It's
Yeah.
not grown everywhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Pearls are still farmed the old-fashioned way.
Mm.
Uh, so
Yeah.
they're not like produced, but I mean, it's like the ladies that do the diving.
Yeah.
Still, you can go
Can you go
in Da
see that?
Nang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just
Okay.
gonna say. So in Actually, Phuket has a great one, though I don't know if you can do a tour there. I had to look into that. In Phuket, there are kind of 2 ends of the island, but one of the ends has Sun Group, and it's like if you look up Star Beach
Mhm.
in Phuket, it'll kind of put you on the right end of the island. But there's a cable car that is fantastic in itself because you just go over all these little islands.
Yeah.
The cable car takes you to this final island, which is a big amusement park, kind of spectacular of water
Yeah.
parks. So that may not be your thing.
Yeah.
However, the trip over should be your thing because
Yeah.
it's so amazing. Because you're on this cable car, you're going over the ocean and you're
Yeah.
looking down. And one of the things that you see when you look down is all the pearl farming.
Ah, okay.
So you go over all the fishing villages, but there must be little boat excursions. They definitely do that in Nha Trang and Da Nang, where you can go out. I haven't done it myself, but some of my family did, where they went out and they took a boat and they got to choose their pearl. I don't think they were
Okay.
diving, but they went out
Got
and
to
saw
choose.
that
Yeah.
happening, and then they got so they got their little pearl, and then I think the end of the tour was they got it made into something.
Okay.
Um,
That's very cool.
it's definitely everywhere in Vietnam. You can get jewelry made.
Yeah.
Um, in at a really good price. Gold's hard right now, but if you're getting any other thing than gold,
Yeah.
then yeah, it's a pretty good place to get things made. I've had that like like a stone. We'll have a stone from somewhere and just go and get it set. But pearls are good souvenirs, especially I think right now because it's kind of popular to have the rugged
Oh, yeah,
pearls
yeah,
instead
yeah.
of like perfect round ones, like the ruggedy ones. So those are easy to find there. They sell them in the airport everywhere.
Yeah, I've seen them
Um,
on when I've done a couple of tours in Vietnam. They always take you somewhere where you can potentially buy pearls. It seems to be doesn't matter where I
oh,
am.
there's a lot of those, and I'd be careful about it.
Yeah.
So
I
there's
haven't
like
bought
all these
anything.
rest shops. Well, because they
Yes.
like you're in the car a lot, like especially on these big tours, and I don't like doing that. I don't like trying to cover a ton of ground
Yeah.
when you're in Vietnam. I think it's better just to pick a spot and see what's around it.
Yeah.
But having said that, if you do that, you may not get to see some of the cooler places. So going off and seeing the countryside, seeing how they're working the land and farming the rice is very cool. It just means like 4 or 5 hours in the car sometimes. So what they
Yeah.
do is they break it up by these rest stops, and
Yeah.
these rest stops are huge, and they are just selling you stuff.
Yeah.
But it is not like in other countries like Thailand, for example, where they're just selling you all the same stuff that they sell
Yeah.
you in every other country, and it's all shipped in from China. This
Yeah.
is different. I mean,
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
those exist,
Yeah.
but these little rest stops will actually have authentically like Vietnamese goods at like some
Mm.
marked up price,
Yeah.
and kind of like trying to gear it towards tourists. But there is one that is worth seeing, and that is on the way to Ninh Binh. It's either on the way to Ninh Binh or on the way to Halong Bay. Ninh Binh's amazing. I would definitely say go to Ninh Binh if you're going to Hanoi. It's south of Hanoi and Halong Bay is north. So if you're going to do both, you had to keep coming back to Hanoi. But Ninh Binh's the limestone caves. There's actually quite a lot to do, a lot of hiking. You can spend like 3 days there. But I think from the Hanoi on the drive to Ninh Binh, there's this restaurant that's it's showcasing only the works of disabled Vietnamese. They have factories that they make handicrafts, but it's only people working there are deaf or blind. And what they make there is these embroidery paintings, or not paintings, but like just like a beautiful framed portrait of like the ones that are really amazing are like of people's faces and stuff. But it's all done embroidery, silk embroidery. That's beautiful. I mean, I don't know how big your suitcase is, but that is worth seeing, and that is one of those rest stops. Lacquer going. They have them in Hanoi and in Ho Chi Minh. Well, they're not in those two cities, but they're about an hour out of both of those two cities. They have lacquer and ceramic factory, and you can go and see them being made. Like all my dishes are from there. Here, I'll show you.
Oh,
See,
beautiful.
they're like little fish, and like I liked it because everywhere I went, they had like dishes with it. And so I got like a whole set of dishes because I liked these little fish swimming around. But I got to make
Sorry,
it.
before you say anything further, just to describe it. So there's all little fishes, and is it a vase that you have, or is it a jar that you have?
No, this is I'm really into tea, so this is.
Oh, okay. So she's got all her tea in there, but it's a beautiful ceramic jar that's got a lid on it. That's got little fishes. Are they fishes that I see?
Yeah, I'll show you the plate because the plate probably shows.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
So this is in all the restaurants. Like if you go, which is why all the restaurants have this pattern, and I just always liked it. So I was like, I want to get this, but before I leave Vietnam, and I got to go there, and so this is in Bac Chang, which is written on the back. Bac Chang is the big ceramics it's out of Hanoi.
Yeah.
And so in Bac Chang, I got to sit down with the artisans and make one myself and try painting. And then you get to see the kiln and everything. So that's actually beautiful. Yeah. And you can do that with the lacquer as well.
Oh, nice.
And you can, they're not shy about you watching and taking part. So that's pretty cool. Usually the international schools usually take the kids to go look at it and watch it, and see the artisans.
Yeah.
So that's actually a really great souvenir as well. I would say all the handicraft stuff.
Definitely. And so before we go, are there any tips that you could give, or you feel like there's anything you'd like to add about visiting Vietnam?
I'd say there's a whole lot right now being kind of pitched. It's like preparing for money payment and stuff like that. I don't really think it's necessary. It is starting to transition to sort of paying with your phone kind of payment when you go places.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need to get like a special app. I think just the best thing with Vietnam, so that you're not getting overcharged, is to just have cash with you.
Okay, that's
get to know the cash, how it works. I always just say minus 4 zeros and half it.
Okay.
For the money, there are a lot of zeros in Vietnam dong. Yeah. So, and if you half it, so that takes you to a US dollar amount, usually 200,000. Yeah. So it'd be about $10.
Okay.
So if you take off the zeros, about $10. I think that's about right.
Yeah.
I would say like stick to grabbing cash.
Okay.
For the time being, and if you can, avoid using your credit card.
Okay.
Except for hotels.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good tip, because I always take cash anywhere, wherever I go, because you never know when your card might not work anyway, right? So for some reason. But that's been so great. Like you've got so much information about Vietnam that it's quite exciting. My next trip is going to be somewhere completely different. I think I want to go up north next time. Then you've totally convinced me that that's the place that I need to go. So
Well,
thank
I'd love
you.
to go. I'd love to go with you.
Yes, definitely. I need you to take me to these amazing places. So yeah, we'll definitely.
I
Keep.
definitely say pack light. Don't bring a
Okay.
lot. You don't need a lot. You will want to bring stuff back with you.
Yeah.
If you go to the north, because of there's like the difference in the temperature,
Yeah.
you may not know what the temperature is going to be like. It could fluctuate. So instead of packing your suitcase with like
Yeah.
maybes, North Face is made there,
Yeah.
and you can. I mean, some of it's knockoff, some of it's real.
Okay.
It's like $10. Buy yourself a jacket because it is not a perfect system in Vietnam when
Okay.
it comes to airports, like domestic airports. I mean, do yourself a favor, just do a carry-on if you can. So you're not worried about luggage,
Yeah.
delays. There's often delays. And if there's a tight connection,
Yeah.
there's almost always delays in Vietnam with domestic flights, almost always. Another reason why I try to like stick to one place when I go. But yeah, just travel light. Try and experience like something authentic and not necessarily like a packaged for a tourist sort of. And if you do go to Sapa, it's worth getting a driver because you have
Okay.
to the train will drop you
Yeah.
at the base and then you have to take a bus, which always break down
Okay.
to get to the top. So get a driver. It's so cheap.
Yeah.
To get them, and the drivers end up sleeping up there and they're with you all the time. So then you
Okay.
can get around and see smaller places. It sounds extravagant, but it's not. And it actually is about the same price as doing it
With a
with
group
one of like
tour
the big.
anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Excellent.
Well, I hope that helps. Feel
Thank
free
you.
to reach out to me with any Vietnam questions. I do put tours together for Vietnam and always happy to help give some recommendations.
Excellent. And I'll put all your details in the show notes. So thank you so much. And
You're
we
very
will
welcome.
catch up
Happy
soon.
travels.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me on the Truly Expat Travel podcast. If you liked this episode and you found it valuable, then why don't you go ahead and like and subscribe so that you don't miss an episode moving forward. I've got some amazing guests and some fantastic destinations coming up. But if this is the episode and this is the destination that you really want to go to, then I suggest you head over to trulyexpattravel.com where you'll find travel guides and deep dive into this sort of destination. If that's not what you want and you can't find an episode that is a destination you want to travel to, then head over and follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok because I'm pretty sure you'll find something there. In the meantime, safe travels, and I'll see you next week.